And it says we're live.
Yeah, I didn't get caught mid-story this time.
Good morning, folks, afternoon, or whatever it may be, wherever you may be. Cedars, Josh, Jonna,
Bloody hell.
some other cats and dogs, who knows? Anyway,
That's just the ones commenting. Apparently, there's a crap ton that
yeah.
don't bother commenting.
The lurkers.
Sanford, hello.
Work.
Apparently,
Sounds disgusting.
in the good news, bad news, the bill was signed out, gone to the governor's desk for signature on a constitutional carry for the state of Texas.
Woo-hoo.
And the predictable left is, oh my God, blood in the streets.
Wild West.
Yes.
Dogs and cats living together.
Okay. If it's going to be the Wild West again, that means we're going to be formally kind to everybody, especially strangers that we meet.
Excessively courteous.
Be excessively courteous. We're going to we're going to dress to the nines every day
Every
because
day. Yeah.
our image is everything. We're going to stop talking about our women folk in the saloons.
yeah.
And people will watch their mouths.
Yeah. So
Facebook will go away because
Yeah.
I guess
if we're back in the Wild West and somebody runs his mush,
Yeah.
he's immediately called up and expected
Yeah.
to pay that check.
Cedar, what happened? You went from no overtime ever to you will have to work overtime this week?
woohoo,
What the hell?
Mandatory overtime,
pay is good.
much like mandatory fun.
Hopefully
Pay is
it's
good.
either time and a half or double time if you're working overtime. You didn't miss anything, Josh. Hell, you could miss the whole broadcast. You wouldn't miss anything.
Oh no! Oh, yeah. Last one?
Huh?
Last one? Thursday?
Yeah.
Oh, he missed all sorts of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
That's
hey,
Prairie dogs, prison savaging
Right.
hawks.
Yeah.
we didn't spend 45 minutes talking about restaurants, though.
No,
And that's
No.
a plus.
it was prairie dogs, and
See, we have topics.
And Joel says
We follow
he
the
listens
podcast
to the
rules.
first few minutes at 1.75 to catch up.
oh.
I don't know what we would sound like.
I sound weird enough as it is.
No kidding. Right?
Oh, Cedar says 3 coworkers on vacation at once. And yes, time and a half. Yay for time and a half.
Yeah,
Should have
go
been double
time and a half.
time.
Go time and a half. Well, face it's better than comp time.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah. Comp time. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
I went years getting comp time in lieu of overtime pay and not ever able to spend the comp time.
Well, comp time, leave, sick pay.
And then the new hotness is flex time.
Josh asks, is JimJim even comprehensible at 1.75?
No,
How about JimJim? I'm not comprehensible at 1.75.
And
Rita does that. She listens to a lot of YouTube videos
Yeah.
that sped up.
yeah,
And it's rapping mice is all I hear. There's no words to it.
yeah, it's chipmunks. Yeah. In some interesting news, if you're a veteran, apparently they are redoing
Oh, God.
the burial requirements for Arlington. And
I thought that was set by Congress.
Huh?
I thought that was set by Congress.
well, the Army is doing a study since they own Arlington.
Okay.
the problem is Arlington keeps filling up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They want to change it now to where you have to be at the minimum a Silver Star winner to be able to be buried in Arlington.
Ouch.
And they want to
Well,
make that
they'll start-
retroactive.
They'll start making
Whoa.
exceptions for that right off
How
the
do you
bat.
make it retroactive? Do you start digging people up and moving
No.
them out?
They, in other words, anybody alive now, unless
Oh.
you have a Silver Star, cannot be buried at Arlington.
And they're going to start making exceptions right off the bat.
Yeah.
I don't know why they bother.
Because it'll be the Silver Star winner and his wife, and then it'll be and his family.
Well, it'll be President so-and-so, President Biden.
Yeah.
Needs to be buried in Arlington because whatever.
Can we do it tomorrow?
So,
Honestly, I think that if he's not in front of the camera, he's in a pot of soil in the
Yeah.
corner of the Oval Office, and they turn him to face the sunlight every
Yeah.
now and then.
so they are, there's a lot of pushback from the retired and current military because we were promised the option of being buried in Arlington. And one of the reviews, and this is the Army, they want to make Arlington last another 150 years.
Good luck with that.
Realistically, at the current rate, even with the expansion to what used to be the Navy Annex at Arlington, at the current rate, it will fill up in about 2050. One of the things that MOA, the sergeants organizations, the VFWs, the American Legions have been supporting is to designate a second national cemetery, which is something we don't have. The only cemetery where you are buried with honors is Arlington.
Well,
Now that's it. That's the only one where you're actually buried with honors is Arlington.
you can be buried with honors anywhere. I've attended several outside Arlington where you're buried with
Yeah,
honors.
but you're the support
Oh, gotcha.
from the old guard, from the Navy, Marine Corps, the Air
Wow.
Force. Yeah. Josh says, let's designate greater DC area and clear out the bureaucrats. I would be for that.
I'm good with that.
Yeah. So anyway, that's one that's rattling around.
We could take 3 of Sanders' 5 homes,
Yeah.
turn those into national cemeteries.
Oh, yeah, that'd give us another 100 years.
The other thing, I put up a post today. A lot of people do not understand leaving coins on
Oh,
military
coins on-
headstones. So
That's got to be relatively new because I've only heard about the past 20 years.
it dates back to the Roman legions.
Does it?
Yeah.
I never heard about it until about 20
Yeah.
years ago.
Well, I mean, a lot of religions have traditions like that, not necessarily involving coins. Sometimes you leave a stone.
The Jews with the stones.
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
the graves of the righteous.
But the military, going back to Roman times, literally documented in Roman times,
Huh.
was the smallest coin was you visited. The next largest coin, a penny in our case, a nickel means that you served with a person in boot camp. A dime meant you served with them on active duty at some point. And the reason that's different is out of my company of 50 in boot camp, I served with 3 people over the course of 20 years. Others I stayed in touch with, but only actually served with 3. So that'd be a dime. A quarter if you were there when they were killed. So
I don't think.
there are 3 exceptions to that. One of them, well, 2 of them are Navy, one of them's Air Force.
I think 4 of the people I went through basic went to Eustis, but only one other one was a Tango.
Yeah.
And then and no, everybody nobody aspired for that was. So yeah.
So the exceptions are triple nickel, which is the USS Hammer. Excuse me. The Dolphin submarine and the 555th Tactical Fighter Squadron. And those people leave a nickel for everything, and they will stack nickels. But what happens with that money is that is used to maintain the graveyard. So the money's actually collected.
Oh, well,
Yeah. But yeah, it's there was also a song many years ago during Vietnam called "Throw Down a Nickel to Save a Fighter Pilot." Throw a nickel in the grass to save a fighter pilot. Yeah, they were some strange people back in those days. Yeah.
given the egos involved, I'm not sure I want to be anywhere near a fighter pilot.
Well, they were egocentric until they got a problem, and all of a sudden they love helicopter people.
Oversexed, overpaid, and over there.
Yeah. One of the best stories is Clyde Lassen recovering the two F4 guys in Vietnam in Way. And my cousin was involved in that because he was coming the other direction, L3. But could not get into the LZ and couldn't find the guys because it was dark and they were taking major ground fire. So Lassen turned on his landing lights and plunked the helicopter down. And the guys hoofed it.
Yeah. The fastest they've ever moved in their lives.
Yeah, yanked their asses up, went out to sea to the first ship he could find, and landed with approximately 5 minutes worth of gas left. In other words, if he'd have banked the airplane, he'd have flamed out both engines on that H2. But those guys were very appreciative of being picked up. And there was a bottle of booze involved later.
Like you are.
Yep. The other one, sad one, is in San Jose. There was a shooting yesterday, and this guy killed 8 people. Apparently 8 co-workers at a yard where they do the vehicles for transport up and down the Bay Area.
Has the FBI admitted that he's been on their watch list for 2 years yet?
Nope.
I'm surprised.
But interestingly enough, he set his house on fire yesterday morning before he left for work.
Ah, one of those guys.
He was going to commit suicide by cop.
Yeah, he was gonna die.
And yes, they have gun control. They have very tight gun control.
Gun
But
control they're very proud of.
Yes.
yeah,
It is very effective at keeping law-abiding citizens.
he managed to kill 8 people in 2 buildings
Apparently,
next door to
ninth
the
one just
police
cratered
department.
him. Apparently, the 9th one just cratered him.
Who did?
The 9th victim died just now.
Oh,
Yeah. Okay, the 9th died. And I, say a prayer for those families. But
I love those fast attack boats on the Rio Grande with Texas GPS signature on them.
yeah,
oh yeah, but those don't carry the mortars or the mod deuces in quad
No, they have the
mount.
mod deuces.
Not in quad mount.
yeah,
Really?
No, they've got single mod deuces and 240 Bravos.
yeah, Jesse. The workplace actually was off limits to weapons.
Oh, then it couldn't have happened.
Yeah, no, there was a sign.
Yeah.
Yeah. there
Everyone
was a
knows the
sign.
signs make
Yes.
the difference.
Yeah.
There was a sign.
And of course, Newsom had to get on and dance in the blood yesterday.
Newsom.
Yeah, before
pissed
it
me
announced
off.
any of the victims' names or anything like that,
Yeah.
or even the perpetrator's name, he's dancing in their blood.
Oh,
Yeah. A
He
pandemic of shootings, mass
he
shootings.
was sitting in the middle of a tub of it, scrubbing his armpits with.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, it's amazing this pandemic of shootings didn't happen until after Trump got out of office.
Yeah.
Thank you. That.
Yeah, and as Sanford says, and the White House is already 45 minutes later talking about stemming the epidemic of mass shootings. Yeah.
What the hell ever.
No, seriously.
Yeah.
Look at the number of mass shootings, which by FBI definition is 3 or more victims.
Yeah.
And the shooter. If
So
you look
2
at
of the suicides are mass shooting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
If you look at the number that qualify as mass shootings under Trump's 4 years
Yeah.
versus the first 8 months of or 6 months of
Ficus?
Biden's, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I went coast to coast with the sombrero, with the tinfoil sombrero again, but
Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ, people.
14 minutes. The other interesting one is the Chapman was apparently on the Hill yesterday for his confirmation hearing as ATF director.
Oh,
Oh, did you see where
barbecue Chapman?
Yep.
what's his name asked him to define assault weapon?
Yes.
Oh Jesus! He said, "Well, that's something Congress will do." Well, how do you define it? Oh,
Well, his
Then it is
definition of assault weapon is anything 22 caliber or higher that takes a detachable magazine.
so all those Ruger 22s and
The Browning BLR with a
Yeah.
4-round detachable magazine, 7.108 is now a lever action, box fed lever action is now a assault weapon.
Yeah.
Because he's a schmuck.
and he wants to ban them.
He wants to ban all our AR-15s. Somebody asked him, he stated bald face,
Yeah.
I want to ban AR-15s.
Well, you know, he'll
I
have
want to run amok in Washington, D.C. with a flamethrower.
Yeah.
But we don't always get what we want, do we?
Yeah.
I do want that over under chainsaw.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And yes, Ted Cruz did roast his ass over that.
I've got to give Cruz props. He found a set of stones somewhere.
Yeah, and I don't think he's planning on running for president ever again.
No.
So he doesn't need to be centrist, or what DC thinks of as centrist.
And he doesn't. If he wants to get reelected in Texas, he needs to play the Texans. And
Yeah.
he's doing really well.
Yes.
But apparently, Tom Cotton was also questioning him. And when he said
I'd
that,
hate to get questioned by Cotton. I really-
when he said that, Cotton kind of cocked his head and looked at him and said, "You realize that this would basically make every sporting rifle currently on the market illegal?" And he nodded and didn't
Because-
answer.
Yeah, because that's what he wants.
Yep.
To control a population, first you must
Yeah.
Disarm the
disarm a
population.
population.
Yep.
It's hard to tell somebody what to do.
It's easier to control a population when you make everybody a felon.
Yep.
Now,
So
what is it, Cooper's famous saying? Ain't much a man can't fix with $700 and 30-06.
Yeah. Hey, Sarah, glad you made it. Sorry you had to parent today. That's never
Oh, no,
fun.
not parenting.
see, I like kids, but I can still give them back.
I like kids after I've given them a pixie stick and a bag of chocolate covered espresso beans and a kitten.
Kitten. Show them,
Now, go back home.
show them
No.
a picture of puppies and tell them it's across it's on the other side of the highway.
Chocolate covered coffee bean and a puppy. Yeah.
This is how you snort a pixie stick, kids.
Yeah.
I might not be the best person to leave your child with.
Of course, it is the proper way to do a shot of tequila.
Snort a
Oh,
pixie stick?
Josh.
No. So tequila,
Koala apparently has us on a widescreen HD TV.
Why?
Oh my God. Why? Yeah.
so thank God the camera's pointed that way.
Yeah,
So
no kidding.
tequila, lime, salt,
Salt, yeah.
right? So you go salt, lime, tequila.
Yeah.
You can do it about 2 times per nostril before your nose starts really bleeding.
Yeah.
Oh, the blood gets away.
Sarah said, had to escort the nerdling to the neighbor's house to apologize. That's never good.
Was the neighbor apologizing to the nerdling, or was it
No, I
neighbor?
think the nerdling was having to apologize to the neighbor.
My question is, for what?
Yes, that's the next.
Yeah,
that's the next-
Jim was asking the same question.
Yeah.
What are we apologizing for?
I don't know, and I'm not sure she wants to tell us, and I don't blame her for that.
Ooh,
Sanford says Red Bull and a pit puppy. Ah,
Oh, not a pit puppy, just a random junkyard mutt with, that's half Arkansas leg hound and half something.
Yeah.
They're the best ones. Here, kid, have a puppy.
Yeah.
Did the apology have to do anything to do with diapers and a garden hose?
I don't think so, but somebody's bottom might be red, she says.
Why am I the only one that had to apologize?
Koala is laughing at us and saying her phone is dying.
That's funny.
Oh, being in the neighbor's garage and putting snails all over their car. Oh, ow.
And
The trails
and
will eat paint.
okay.
Yeah.
I've not seen.
Well, I mean, if you want to find out if that is true or not, it's a good thing that he didn't do it on her car. He did it on the neighbor's
A neighbor's car. It's
Right.
it's scientific method.
We found that out as kids. And yes, we might have had a come to Jesus meeting with our parents over that one. Bologna in the middle of the hood in the summer sun. Oh, God. That would stink. And probably peel the paint off.
I was annoyed at the neighbor, so I locked 5 West African giant snails in his Range Rover with the windows turned up over the weekend.
Oh.
Windows rolled all the way up over the weekend.
So he had rotted escargot.
Apparently, he opened the car door and threw up.
Nice.
I was proud of myself.
Yeah.
These are snails that people are making pets out of now, right?
Yeah.
There's a snail that weighs about 5 pounds.
Yeah.
Right.
Sanford said, "What's the rhyme? Snips and snails and
And
puppy
puppy
dog
dog tails.
tails. Yes.
The little boys are made of.
Yep.
Sugar and spice and everything nice.
So he went over and said, "I'm sorry for being a little boy."
Yeah. Pretty much.
I'm
Okay.
sorry for giving you what you deserved.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, you're right, Steph. It does put a nice round hole in the paint. And we eat bologna.
What?
If you've ever put bologna on a hood,
Oh,
Oh,
the bologna came out of
yeah.
nowhere.
Oh,
y'all are sitting over there yapping, and I'm
Oh.
responding to the comments here.
Okay. It was just there was a subject shift.
If the snails going bologna, I can believe it, but
If snails go in bologna, I'm throwing the bologna we have in the fridge out.
do you know what really goes in bologna?
Yeah,
Everything except the oink.
everybody says that, and they say the same thing about hot dogs. But you got to remember, the FDA controls exactly what goes into it.
Yeah, they control the
Unless you buy Chinese bologna or Chinese hot dogs,
they control the dick tips and beaks that go in there.
Yeah.
it's not that bad. It's still better than
Go
haggis.
look at the real ingredients.
It's hey, listen, it's not as bad as you say it is, but it's still better than haggis.
Haggis is just a sausage.
Haggis is not a sausage. Haggis
A
is
sausage is made, and the exact purpose of a
And
sausage
here we
is
go.
all the stuff that you can't get anybody to eat. You grind it up so it's
No.
unrecognizable. You stuff it in intestines.
no haggis is two Scotsmen standing at the top of a moor going, "I dare you to eat this."
As is every other sausage out there.
No, oh, please. There's some good sausage.
Some good sausages.
The Italians did great sausage.
Cedar used to work in a plant that made bologna and hot dogs.
We have an expert.
It's an emulsion.
Oh, emulsion. I thought you said emotion. It's like,
It's an emulsion.
well, we used to feed the inmates. Does anybody know what mechanically separated poultry is?
Is it two chickens in love being forced apart? That breaks me
Nope.
every
It's
time.
when you clean all the meat off the chicken or turkey or whatever carcass, and you boil it to a fair view well and shove it through mosquito netting.
Yeah.
Right, that's how they do hot dogs.
The pudding that comes out the far side is mechanically separated chicken
Yeah.
or poultry. And that's what we feed the inmates.
And Midwest Chick says, let's throw scrapple into the mix. I'm eating scrapple.
Scrapple, yeah,
Now,
Now,
scrapple.
you do not want to be where they're cooking scrapple.
Is scrapple, or is scrapple more of a meatloaf kind of deal?
Is it like tripe? Because I had tripe.
It's pig skin that you basically deep fry.
Oh no, that's
That's chicharrones.
It's
No,
chicharrones
it's
or-
also
Chicharrones.
scrapple.
Speck at Oma's, which
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm thinking of spec.
opens.
I'm thinking of
The
spec.
speck. We need to
Yes.
get speck and opens again.
Yeah, we haven't been open in a while.
Cedar says it is an emulsion
That's what I
used to
said.
make bologna and hot dogs.
Yeah.
It's an emulsion.
There's a lot of water involved.
Yeah.
None of it drinkable.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
it's better than lutefisk.
Anything's better than lutefisk.
Well,
I
it's
mean, instead of water, they use lye.
yeah. Joel was asking about gelfite fish.
Oh.
Yeah, no,
That-
it's not a
that-
sausage.
when JimJim moved up here, he went for a brief period where he had the things delivering nasty stuff to my desk.
Yeah.
And at one time there was a jar of gefilte fish
Gefilte fish.
that
Yeah.
showed up on my desk. So I opened it and put it in the office fridge.
The thing is about that jar of gefilte fish is, I swear to God, there's an eyeball floating around looking at you.
And it kept following me. I don't know how it followed me
would-
around the jar, but
It would blink every now and again if you watched it.
yeah, I would walk around it and the damn thing followed me around. So I opened it, cracked it, left it in the office refrigerator at work, and they stopped doing that.
Speaking of,
Nancy's,
everybody, I want you all to know that Ian is a huge fan of pickled eggs.
I am not.
So if you ever want to get Ian a present, a
No,
jar of any kind of
Oh,
pickled
God.
eggs, he loves them.
They are-
The bigger the jar, the better.
they are disgusting.
If you can find one of those industrial sized jars that have the pink eggs in them, send them to Ian.
If you do, the trash pandas will love you because I'll put them out the range and shoot them with a .308. I bloody well hate pickled eggs. Things are disgusting.
Nancy Fry chimed in and said, Goetta is yum.
What?
Goetta.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Not a clue.
And yeah, Cedar, you can cook scrapple all the way down to where it is gelatin. However, in the South, you don't usually cook it that far.
Chitlins, chicharron,
Yeah.
speck. It's
Yeah.
Josh says
Cracklings.
they've decided that Cedar needs a 44 Magnum and a carved leather holster so she can be lethal and decorative in Texas.
Oh, the Sunday go to barbecue holster.
Yeah, barbecue gun and
Yes.
holster, yes.
Yes.
I have a good friend over in Hope, Arkansas that makes some fairly nice holsters.
Some of the prettiest holsters I've ever seen were made by inmates in
Yeah.
the Texas Department of Criminal Justice.
The best cowboy rig I ever saw, and I still want to own it, was designed for 1911.
Okay.
So it's a cowboy rig. You have a holster for 1911.
Yeah.
And it had little loops for the bullets, but no way to carry a spare magazine. So you kind of, you're like, wow, this thing is beautiful. Wait a second.
Oh, speaking of decorative stuff,
Yes.
if you are in North Texas or Oklahoma, anywhere near Oklahoma City, a friend of ours named Bill Anderson has opened up Mead Hall Gun Range.
Yes.
And he's getting some really big name, high profile instructors through there. Maz Ayub will be teaching a MAG 20 course in at Mead Hall Gun Range late in this year.
Mag 20 is the legal stuff, everybody.
Yeah.
Mag 10 is the physical, the handling stuff.
No, it's all he teaches is
Oh, yeah, it's legal. Okay.
Yeah.
all he teaches legal now.
Yeah, Josh says
Ever since the divorce.
1911 is old enough to be a cowboy gun. Actually, it
It was
was.
a cowboy.
It was.
Yeah.
You'll see advertisements for it along with
The Thompson.
it was the water cooled Maxim. Maxim
Yeah.
machine. So you see these cowboys. It's an honest to God real ad.
Well-
There's a couple of cowboys with a Maxim fighting off Indians.
There was
Yeah.
this famous Thompson. One of their first ad
Yeah.
was at night a cowboy coming out of a line house with a drum-fed Thompson submachine gun. Then all these rustlers, snaffling cows.
Yeah.
Like, Thompson, your best friend when you're all alone.
Well, there were.
back when it was civilized.
You go back far enough, and they were literally carrying 1911s at the turn of the century. Cowboys were.
Yeah, 1903s and 1909s were all of
Yeah.
Mhm.
And my grandfather carried a 1903 as a backup
Mhm.
because he had the 45 strapped on his hip.
Had a vest. A lot of people carry vest pocket guns.
Well, Cowboy Action has what do they call it gives them 1911 and Remington shotguns.
Oh, that's
The Wild Bunch.
Wild Bunch. Yeah.
They have a Wild Bunch class.
Yeah. Well,
Really?
Butch Cassidy and Sundance both are documented having carried 1911s.
That's right.
Nancy says Goetta is meat and oatmeal mash mushed into a sausage shape, sliced and fried with eggs.
That's not bad.
That sounds pretty good, actually.
And Cedar says Goetta is haggis without the wrapping then. Pretty much.
That's not bad.
Yeah, I mean, if you can't find a sheep's stomach and the goats are all out on dates.
Yeah.
Haggis is nothing more than a sausage with an accent.
It's a dare. It is.
Most sausages start out as dares.
No, most sausages start out as well. We need to preserve this meat so we can eat it in 6 months when we're starving. No,
I dare you to eat
Haggis
it.
doesn't.
Well, we made whole hog sausage down at home when I was a kid.
That takes a really big grinder.
And we had that. We also had our own smokehouse. And we would smoke hams, peppered hams, and we would smoke sausage.
Oh, that reminds me. I've got Isaac Toop's new cookbook, and I need to bring it over here for you all to read.
Yeah. Sausage started out as, we have bits left over. Yep, pretty much.
We got bits nobody will eat. Let's grind them up and stuff them in this other bit and nobody will eat and tell them it's a sausage.
Well,
Sausage came up because for the same reason that cheese came about.
we also
It's
made
spoiled.
boudin.
Let's eat it.
No, we need to preserve this so we
Yeah.
can have it during the lean times.
No.
It doesn't matter if it tastes good or not.
It'll keep you alive.
It'll keep you alive.
It'll make a turd, as my drill sergeant used to say.
And then
Josh
they make
asked-
pepperoni.
What is Rattel sausage like? Angry and vindictive?
Battle sausage?
Yeah.
Ugh, disgusting. In Africa, don't eat predators. fish predators you can eat. But if it's a predator in Africa, don't eat it. The predators in Africa are disgusting.
Well, of course, the meat's all stringy because it's been exercised so
It's
far.
full of worms usually.
Oh,
There's more worms in the predators than there are the herd animals.
and Cedar says, "Oh, that reminds me, I have casings. Anybody want them? I'm not going to be making sausage in the apartment." Smart move. Nancy says, "Whoa, where the hell did that comment go? Come back here. Any of those peasant meat grain hinges are nasty if they're made with too much meat and dead things. The whole concept was, and this is true, to stretch what little
Yeah.
straps you had."
Well, this is I told you when in college I worked at the UCAP Center, and one of the things that it was they researched in how minimum amount of fat you needed for a sausage that still tastes good.
Yeah.
Turns out it's better. It has to be it can't be less than 15% fat, or the sausage doesn't taste right anymore.
Oh, it's dry. Well, it's dry.
Well, no, it's not that it doesn't taste
Oh,
right.
it just doesn't taste right.
Yeah, and you go below 12 and it doesn't taste good at all.
Yeah.
So they found that between 15 and 18 or 20%, that's where you want your fat content to be in sausage.
Yeah.
That's a lot of fat.
But you also need fat to survive.
Oh,
Yes.
Well, one of the recipes I know, or two of the recipes I noticed in Isaac Toops' book, one of them is lamb neck, and you wind up with a crap ton of black-eyed peas and collard greens, and these occasional little flecks of meat that came off.
Yeah, there can't be a lot of meat.
There's not, but it was just enough to season or flavor. And the
Yeah.
rest of it was collard greens and black-eyed peas.
Do you put the bones as well in?
Everything.
Okay, so what he's really getting, he's getting the marrow and the collagen out.
Collagen marrow, but there's enough enough meat scraps on there. You get one occasionally in
Yeah.
your beans, and it flavors it enough. You don't,
Is this sort of like pork and beans, where you
Yeah,
got
sort of.
that one?
one chunk, one
One
floating
chunk.
chunk, a yellow
Yeah.
chunk of something we're not sure of.
Yeah.
Mostly fat.
But this is all Cajun cooking. He says Cajun cooking was for the poor folk.
Yeah.
So two of them in there.
Hey,
It's,
been there, done that.
oh, God,
Still do it.
Oh God, yes. Two of the recipes in there. There's actually very little meat, just enough to flavor it.
Yeah.
He said this is pretty traditional. These two are pretty traditional.
Cedar and Nancy both chimed in about adding bacon or fats to various sausages to make it edible. Yes. And Richard
Suet used to wind up in a lot of sausages.
brings up a good point. All the sausage commentary in the Pratchett books with Sam Vines. Cut me on the throat.
Dibbler.
Dibbler, yeah.
Sausage with tubes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Sarah, caribou is very lean.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's good, but boy, is it lean.
When Africans make sausage out of gazelle, you have to add suet.
Yeah,
I guess that goes back to your 15 to 18%.
yeah,
Well,
Because
if you ever compared cattle beef to American bison beef, and the beefalo beef,
yeah,
there's more fat in the cattle.
Yeah.
And you need that crossbreed to get enough fat in the bison for it
Yeah.
to taste right. Otherwise, you're adding some kind of fat to it.
Yeah.
well, that's like the bison burgers that we cook. They have bacon added to them and fat added to them.
Yeah.
well, like I said, the gazelle and antelope when they were making when the Africans make sausage, because everybody has a sausage.
Yeah, moose and caribou are about as lean as an elk.
Elk is tastes good, but you can't make a sausage with a
Yeah.
devil.
Speed goat.
Speed goat is really lean.
Moose
Yeah.
to me tastes more like ground grass-fed beef than anything else.
You know what?
Because that's what it
It effectively is. Yeah.
Yes.
You know what? Rocket goat. The best way to cook rocket goat. And I just shocked the hell out of me because I got a rocket goat shoulder, and there's this little old lady that worked with my mom up in Amarillo. She said, "Well, little old abuela, I will fix that for you." I said, "Okay, sweet." I was expecting to get some delicious stew. She hands me a pack of tamales. It's like, you turned my fucking rocket goat into oh my God, these are
They're
good.
good, yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, these are good.
Tamales are good to begin with.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, RK.
And she made rocket goat tamales, and holy crap, they were good.
Yeah, Cedar says, my great grandma made amazing elk mincemeat. Yep. Dribble a little.
We tend food about during this.
Yeah, I know. So, well, all the comments are talking about food, so uh,
We should
Josh
probably tell people
says-
what rocket goats are.
yeah,
Rocky pronghorn antelope.
yeah,
Yes.
pronghorns, yeah.
Speed goats.
Sorry.
Rocky goats.
Yeah.
Speed goat, that's what I know them as.
Yeah, rocky goats. Is what
Yeah.
I've always been told the best way to eat rocket goat is to find one that's asleep and shoot it then. Because that way it's not completely infused with adrenaline.
Yeah, no kidding.
Sanford goes, I don't like bacon on everything, but bacon ground in ground game is good
Right.
idea. Yes.
There's one thing bacon doesn't go with.
And Cedar says, ooh, I can buy a goat at Winco.
Now, okay, rocky goats and goats, two different things.
Yeah.
Right.
I love Hausa. The Hausa tribe in Nigeria had goat cooking down to it was a science and an art and a love for them. And you find a Hausa cook and you give him a goat.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord. Oh, some of the best meat you'll ever have.
Raptor, if you want really good, he's saying get a 50 beef, 50 bacon burger. Get a buffalo burger. They are a world of difference.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm not a big fan of.
Sanford, we resemble that remark. Thank you very
I'm not a
much.
big fan of filet mignon. Everybody loves filet mignon. I'm not a big fan of it.
They're too small.
Well, no, there's no actual taste to it. There's a reason why
It's
everybody
wrapped in bacon.
is wrapped in bacon to add flavor. It's tender.
Yeah.
I'll give you that. It's a tender cut of meat, but there's no flavor.
Yeah, Sanford said, if you want old goats, go to eat your Paw Falls.
Actually,
You know what,
Electra,
you
So
can't-
what does this
can't-
qualify you as, Sanford, since you
Can't
show
argue.
up
I
on
mean,
a
right
regular
now,
you
basis?
can't argue with it.
Seriously though, name one thing that does not go with bacon.
I can't.
Exactly.
Just down 287 in Electra, Texas, where my mother is, they have a yearly goat barbecue, and some of those guys are getting pretty good. They're not near a Hausa. You get, a Hausa show up riding a goat with carrying an onion, and he'll win
The thing
hands
is,
down.
There's not a big call for goat in American
And I
cuisine.
don't know. Done right, the Moroccans do a good goat too.
Yes.
Not
Yeah.
like the Hausa, but the Moroccans do a good goat.
I've
I
had
don't know why it's
Caribbean. I've had good Caribbean
Oh,
goat.
joint
too.
goat.
Yeah.
As long as they go white boy level on the spice,
Well, that's you.
yeah, that's me.
Yeah,
if they
Joel, you're not going to get soot from deer or other game animals. There's just
no
not,
suet there.
there's nothing there.
You got these cows. Cows is the only place I know. Cows and zebu.
Yeah.
The only place I know.
Well, bears.
It's a predator. I don't eat predators.
Well,
Except
the thing is, bears hibernate.
And they pack up a crap ton of fat.
Yeah.
Yes.
I watched a cooking show and some guy did bear one time. I swear to God, he's squeegeeing oil and grease out of the pan every 30 seconds.
Oh, yeah. Koala, I don't know what to do about vegans because none of us are vegans.
I guess low and slow.
And also, I think that's one of the ones you really want to
300.
wrap in bacon.
In a 300-degree oven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Long, low, maybe
On
a slow.
the
cooker.
spit, if you keep them rotating.
That's a lot of bacon though.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta keep basting them.
Yeah.
So you have
Yes,
But-
Sarah, we love ribeyes too.
I think the right barbecue sauce would make a lot of difference on a vegan.
I'm just trying to gouge we went to the same place with
I was not going to go there.
Well, okay, vegans have voluntarily placed themselves lower on the food chain.
Yeah.
Okay? Just so you know, when things go tits up and it gets to that point,
Well, if you think about it, cattle are vegans.
yes, they're on the vegan.
Okay, I've seen cows eat some stuff that.
They still classify as vegan,
They're not.
Yeah, but if they eat prairie dog brain, I'm not so
unlike
sure.
pigs.
I'm not.
Pigs are omnivores.
Yeah.
Pigs are garbage guts.
Yeah.
And goats are garbage guts. That's
So-
a herbivore.
so-
He's eating a mouse.
So
Yeah.
technically, a strict vegan is lower on the food chain than a cow,
Yes. Damn sure lower on the IQ chain.
right? So if I come upon a herd of vegans,
As long as you've got the vegan tag on your hunting license.
right?
I'm
Yeah,
sure
if they're in season,
Yeah. Stephanie says vegans are stringy and cranky. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
point too.
God, you'd have to add a lot of fat to make sausage out of them.
You're no kidding. Have
Yeah.
you s-
Yeah, bear fat is the base for pemmican too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, RK, you're exactly right on that.
Good pemmican is not bad. Bad pemmican is disgusting.
Deer are another omnivore. They will eat just about anything.
I've seen them eating baby birds.
Yeah.
And then I shot the little bastard.
Yep. Matter of
bird or
fact,
the
that's
deer?
what Josh was saying. Jesse goes, lean, no muscle structure, gamey with vape oil, and an aftertaste of hops.
Patchouli.
Yeah.
That patchouli aftertaste. I mean, you got to cook it for a long time to get rid of that patchouli aftertaste.
Yeah, that could be used for stink bait though to make
Well, get
for
catfish
catfish,
that you can
yeah.
actually cook. And eat.
Slow cooker.
Yeah, but you,
Slow. I mean, obviously you need a bigger slow cooker than the normal.
yeah.
But I mean, 8-10 hours in a slow
a
cooker.
lot of beef
I
broth.
bet you can get them tender, get them really nice and
Probably.
tender.
Yeah, Nancy, up your neck of the
Okay,
woods, they're pretty much going to be eating salmon.
What was the original question about vegans? I'm sorry.
Not so sure. We went so far off in the weeds. I'm not so sure.
Yeah, Cedar says her aunt taught her to stomp on trash fish and use them for crab bait. Yep.
Trash fish are great for catching catfish, which
Yeah.
you can eat.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, that's catfish. Well, you want blue channel cats.
Oh, blue cat are good.
You
Yeah.
really don't. Depending on the time of year, you kind of want to stay away from mud cats.
The problem with catfish is they're bottom feeder.
Yeah.
So no matter where you get, you need a cleaner.
Well, that's blue cats are
Blue cats are not.
They're predators.
Are they?
Yeah.
They eat live bait.
Okay, because
The rest of them shuffle through the like
they're bottom feeder, so you really need a clean water source to get them from.
blue
Or
cats. That's why blue
catch
cats
them live and put them in clean water.
Put them in the tub.
And Stephanie says pressure cooker for the vegans. I don't know. You could get one that well. Technically, you could get one that big.
The thing about catfish, now the Barons, Jeff and Hannah Barron, they cook these great huge catfish and apparently do them well. They know how to do them. My daddy taught me that catfish and eating catfish is about as long as your arm from the inside of your elbow to your fingertips, no longer than that. And he freaked my mom out the first time she came in and found a bathtub full of catfish.
Yeah.
Because daddy put them in the bathtub for a couple of days,
Clean them out.
clean them out, and then whack them, skin them.
You'd be surprised at how much sand and grit comes out of them.
Oh no,
Oh, yeah.
It's just like crawdads.
Purging a crawdad is always interesting.
Yeah.
I do love me some crawdads.
Cedar
did
says
really
they make
cool.
commercial pressure cookers, or an autoclave would do it. Yeah, that's true.
Show up in the hospital. Hey, can I stick my vegan in your autoclave?
Could you use a bariatric chamber? You just throw in a bunch of water and potatoes.
Yeah, sure.
Jesse says, yeah, but explaining to the dive shop where their decompression chambers now smells like hickory is interesting.
Hickory patchouli. I don't know. You know what a Cajun microwave is?
Yeah.
No.
Company makes these. I forget. It's a Cuban company actually. They call it Cajun microwave, and it's a wooden box, and it's got a grate on the bottom and a grate on the top. And you put the coals on the grate up top, and you put the pig on the grate in the bottom.
Yep.
And you can cook a 40-pound pig in 2 hours in that thing. I don't know what magic's involved, but apparently the Cajun microwave is fantastic. I bet you could stuff an entire vegan thump on the nose to keep him quiet.
Is there a lid on top of the whole thing?
No.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Sanford says pressure cooker for vegans probably work double duty for cooking mash for the still. Did anybody, speaking of which, did anybody see the meme about R2D2 and C3PO in the South?
No.
Yes.
I don't think probably have. I don't remember.
Yeah, well, it shows them lost in the South. 2 weeks later, they're 2 parts of a still.
Yeah, there's hoses going R2D2 and coil coming out.
Yeah. Sanford goes, commenters here are disgusting. I found my spiritual home.
Hey, listen, a good
Like
shine,
you didn't know this before, Sanford?
A good shine is a great drink.
If you can find a good one. I haven't found a good one yet.
Oh, there's some out there.
I can get back to Louisiana. Well, assuming I can get back to Louisiana and find the right people.
I've told you my show the flag story, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, tell it, because these people have never heard it.
Up in the Panhandle, about once or twice a year, the feds in Amarillo and or Lubbock will rent, or used to, would rent a van, and they'd put a representative from each alphabet agency in the van, and they drive around to all these outlying sheriff's offices, police departments to what can we do for you? You know, your tax money at work. So they showed up at the sheriff's office at where I was, Monksville County. And they came in there, and sheriff sitting there, and he hated to show the flag to her. And that year, the ATF was in the lead. And sheriff said, "What can the ATF do for me?" And he started in this pre-recorded speech about how it's not just firearms, there's alcohol, and here's a pamphlet, and the sheriff takes a pamphlet, he's looking at it. He's reading the pamphlet, reaches down to the bottom left drawer, opens it, takes out a bell jar. Still reading, opens the bell jar, takes a sip, then looks at ATF guys. "Oh, would you want some?" ATF guy goes, "I think, Sheriff, we're done here."
Well, we used to, when I went to school at Louisiana Tech was in a dry parish. It's in Ruston, Louisiana.
There's a dry parish in Louisiana.
Yeah.
I have my doubts.
Technically it was dry.
No, there's still dry counties in Texas.
Not
Yeah.
many.
Not today. Yeah, they're gone.
Not
But,
many. There might be one or two.
Monroe, which was 30 miles away, was not dry. And we would go over to this little place in Chenery, Louisiana. Little liquor store out in the middle of nowhere.
Right across, you'd see the
Right
dotted
across.
line of the county painted on the road.
Pretty much.
There's a bright line.
Pretty much. And you just would go in, and what you asked for was some of the stuff out of the back. And that was shine. That came out of the still run by the sheriff, whose daddy had run it before as the sheriff. That still had been in operation at least 42 years.
Had a nice patina on it that added,
Yeah.
added the those.
Well, they probably seized it from somebody who.
Yeah,
who
exactly.
No,
Okay,
they put
wow.
it together sometime back in the
Oh.
past. The funny part was I had a commanding officer, a Commodore, who had also gone to Louisiana Tech back about 7, 8 years before I did. And his wife knew him from that time. And we were standing in the kitchen. We'd kind of done hell, let's go bother the Commodore night. We were standing in the kitchen. I was talking to his wife, and I said, "By the way, when the Commodore went to Tech, did he ever make runs over to Chenery to get booze?" And she burst out laughing and said, "Oh, God, yes. He was the biggest smuggler in his fraternity."
Yeah,
And then she looked at me and went, "How the hell do you know about that?" I just heard things.
when I started in law enforcement in 1993, there were a lot of blue counties, dry counties in Texas.
Yep.
And there were still bootlegging laws.
Oh, yeah.
And I had written way back when I wrote my fair share of bootlegging tickets.
Yeah, 2 cases was considered bootlegging
Yep.
back in the day.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was back in 93, 94, 95, 2
Yep.
cases of bootlegging.
Yeah, the weird thing is if they bought 2 cases of beer, the tax stamp that the ATF requires on legal alcohol had been paid on that. But because the county,
It was dry.
he was
2
bootlegging.
cases. 2 cases was more than personal use. It was bootlegging.
Yeah.
Now, having been recently of the Army, I could tell you that 2 cases,
2 cases of personal use. 2
Oh.
cases is barely a Saturday night.
2 cases of Budweiser or Coors or any other American lager
Yeah.
is personal use.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the because we were alcohol was rationed when I was in Korea, when I was stationed in Korea.
Uh-huh.
So
Well, for reasons, because you idiots would have drunk them out of house and home.
so the thing is,
see Iceland a couple years ago.
yeah, you could go off post and drink all you want.
Yeah,
Right.
soju.
Well, yeah, but you got OB beer too.
Yeah.
Or you could go to the liquor store on base, and you're allowed to buy 2 cases of beer or 1/5 at a time.
Yeah.
And then you had so many points for your ration for the month.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Steph says, when I lived in the mountains, North Carolina, you put the word out and left $20 under your back door mat. You'd come home or wake up in the morning, there'd be a jar of goodness waiting.
Oh my God, the milkman. The
Yeah.
milkman is running.
Koala says she grew up in Massachusetts. Dry mint, you ain't from around here. And Josh reminds us that he was a kid in the 90s. Shut up, Josh.
And then starting in the early 2000s, the citizens of the state started voting these dry counties down.
Yeah.
The best one was
Dry cities too.
the best one was there was a county in Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was dry.
It does.
In Dallas, so you've got millions of people crowded into this little, and there's literally it's like they circled the wagons and the liquor store Indians were all the way around it.
Yeah. And Sarah Singleton says, hubby hates mass market beer too. Well, and you're being in Europe, you're getting some really good beer, but I will warn you, when you get back to the States, you'll never find it again. And if you do, it'll be pasteurized, so it won't taste right.
Well, there are some.
There are some microbreweries that are actually making decent
Yeah.
There's
beers.
not. There are some larger breweries too. A couple of the ones out of Colorado.
Yeah.
Make some really good beers.
Bellhaven is opened up a brewery here, and Bellhaven makes some really good beer.
The problem with a lot of the beers is the local laws are really weird. Like,
Yeah.
It used to be in Oklahoma, you couldn't.
3.2 beer.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Grocery stores couldn't sell more higher alcohol content than 3.2, and liquor stores couldn't sell refrigerated beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So some of the breweries out of Colorado, like that made Fat Tire,
Mhm.
Fat Tire has to be refrigerated.
Yeah.
Right. Because there's literally no preservatives in it.
So does Coors.
And so they couldn't sell it in liquor stores, so you couldn't get Fat Tire in the state of Oklahoma.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Richard
That might
says,
be why Bellhaven's also over.
Richard says, so instead of the Tooth Fairy, it was the Shine Fairy. Yep.
No, it was the milkman. The milkman.
I approve this message.
Yeah.
One side of the truck is milk. The other side of the
That's
truck
good.
is
Yeah.
just a bunch of bell jars.
Yeah.
Bellhaven's makes a wee heavy. For those of you who don't know, wee heavy is a Scottish ale.
Yeah.
And it's called a wee heavy because it got alcohol in it. And I almost died my cupcakes from the local. I was walking through there and saw a 4-pack of wee heavy.
Yeah.
Bellhaven's wee heavy. Oh my God.
I was
Well, Shinerbach should taste German because the friggin' brewer is German from the get-go.
The entire town's German.
Yeah.
The funniest thing. I was in Europe and we were out drinking, and these guys are going on about this Budvar. Oh, this is great. Budvar is the best beer we've ever had. Budvar. It's Checker. I don't remember. So I got a Budvar, and it tasted exactly like Budweiser because
It was a
it
Budweiser.
was Budweiser. The brewer, way back in the 1960s, the brewer at Budvar emigrated to the States.
Oh.
So I'm like,
Yeah, Budweiser and Coors are lagers. They're American lagers. Lagers
Yeah.
always been a light beer. So they're light beer, and then the Americans haul off and filter them through a horse's kidneys
Yeah.
before
Yeah,
they
the
can
pasteurized
it.
Primo. Yeah, Jesse says also Oklahoma liquor stores couldn't sell Low Point beer. Guess who developed a taste for Low Point exotics before they fixed that shit? Go ahead, guess.
What the hell? Low Point Exotic? Really?
well, I mean, if you want to sell in Oklahoma, you got to work your way around. It's like selling an AR-15 in California.
Oh God.
And
You
Nancy,
got that thumb hole. You got the hole.
The bullet button.
You work your way around the laws.
and Nancy says they live a few miles from the Little Brewery at Hood Canal. Their oatmeal stout is a favorite. The brandy wine is so amazing it should be illegal.
Oh.
And Sarah Singleton says it amuses me how much beer comes out of monasteries.
Well, yeah.
And, yeah,
Well, I think that's who kept the brewing alive during the Dark Ages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that was one. It preserved the water.
Well, it made the water safe to drink.
Yeah. Well.
well, that was the real purpose of beer. Anyway,
Well,
if you go back that far, is it made the water safe?
It's been water safe and provided carbs.
Yeah.
Carbs because the pyramids were pretty much built on beer.
Yeah, it's a very, very thick,
Yeah.
soupy kind of beer,
It's
but
like
it's
a
still,
stew.
yeah.
It's a beer stew.
Yeah.
It's still technically a beer because you made the water safe to drink, and it kept giving them carbs to drag 15-ton stones.
Stones up around.
Yeah.
Um,
RK says brother funded vet school at A&M by smuggling Coors was sold in the Panhandle of Nine College Station. Now, the ultimate smuggling story for Coors was the Coast Guard,
Was the horse?
Why would you want to smuggle Coors?
because back in the day it was illegal in certain places.
Well, not only that, but back in the day, Coors had this thing that they wouldn't sell.
Yeah.
Coors was only sold in these places.
Yeah.
And those places were joint states.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
So,
and people are going to roast me for this. It's no better than Milwaukee's best, Budweiser.
it's better than
correct.
Primo. It's better than Olympia. It's better than the shit that we could get in Hawaii.
It's better than malt liquor.
So anyway, the story is the Secret Service had just been caught smuggling Coors back on Air Force One from Hawaii, from California.
Caught which time?
They got caught and it made the papers time.
Oh, okay.
So we are headed back to Hawaii.
It must have been a slow horse in the hotel day for the Secret Service.
And we were stopping through Moffett to gas and go. It's a pretty long day to get back and need gas. So we pull into the fuel pits. And there's a C-130 sitting next to us out of Hawaii, Coast Guard C-130. And this tractor trailer comes driving up with Coors on the side of it. And they unwrap the flatbed, and it's full of cases of Coors beer
Coors beer.
already pre-palletized
Right up into C-130.
in the back of the C-130. The Coastie Club at Barbers Point served Coors beer all through the 70s. And we laughed about that. You know, we would occasionally go over and have one just for shits and
Oh,
grins.
look, Coors. That's something folks don't understand. Military and law enforcement, I hate to burst a whole bunch of bubbles. Military and law enforcement is lubricated with booze.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, there's a reason that I know that you can fit a 12-pack of cans and one tube of a 7.62 rocket pod on a Cobra.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
But 5.0 or 2.75?
The 2.75.
2.75 FFARs, yeah.
Yeah, and you make sure the clip is down the back so they don't fly out the back.
Fly out the back.
Well, yeah, you got to put the clip up. But, you know,
each tube is a 12-pack.
Yeah.
And there's how many tubes?
And anybody
in a
that
pod?
gets shocked by the fact that, oh my God, the army in Kuwait is drinking beer. No.
the Army, hell, everybody.
You can't because Kuwait's Muslim and Muslims don't believe in drinking.
Well, I take it back. The Navy was not drinking beer. They were drinking whiskey.
Yeah, but that's because they could fly somewhere and get it.
Well, the 88
Well, the Brits were
mics,
flying it in.
Yeah, the 88 mics, the mechanics, the track vehicle recovery guys that had the Snoopy.
Yeah.
I will guarantee you, in the 80s and 90s, if you could find the Snoopy, that's where the still was.
Yeah.
Because the mechanics, if they knew you, would share the bottle.
Well, I mean, the Russians in Afghanistan were distilling vodka out of hydraulic fluid.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there was some Roman legionnaire who got busted because his rock that he used to create his beer was discovered.
Well, Nancy and some other people are now poking fun at us, saying this live stream will be known as the Chow Chat or Grub Gab going forward,
Well, back to the monks.
or how to serve vegans.
Slow roasted with a
Now, Louise, we actually, it was Scotch. The Brits flew it in on pallets with their rations, and it
Well,
was
it's
in a
part of their
Listerine
rations.
bottle.
Wasn't the British military the last
French.
to serve to have rations for alcohol?
No,
French
French still do.
What if it's in their MREs?
No, but
No.
they do.
Damn it.
They do have designated wine canteens that are porcelain lined. Anyway, Rita likes a particular beer, Trappist beer. I forget what the hell it's called.
Yeah.
But it's made in these specific monasteries,
Mhm.
and I couldn't figure out why it couldn't be made anywhere else. So a whole bunch of guys from A&M, because booze,
Yeah.
went and apparently infuriated monks by tearing the monastery apart, and discovered that there is a particular unique strain of fungus in the rafters over where they make the beer. And then they really pissed off the Abbott because they snuck some out.
Mhm.
Well, if you think about it, what's the basis for the cheese?
That's him.
It's the fungus on the wood.
The FDA ruined an entire
Oh, yeah, they
company
Yeah.
did.
because they made them tear out their wooden aging shells.
Yeah, put
Put
in
in stainless steel.
no,
Because,
it wasn't. It was that white poly or
yeah, whatever it was,
yeah,
it was no
cutting
longer.
board, yeah.
So they basically tore out the stuff that was storing the yeast to do
Yeah.
the cheese.
Well, it wasn't just that. It was between the U.S. FDA and whatever the British version was.
Yeah.
There was a certain strain of cheese they almost destroyed.
Yeah.
Because it was made in England and there was some being made here. And the FDA showed up and said, "You must use this sterilized." And the Brits went, "You will use the sterilized." And all of a sudden they couldn't make the cheese anymore.
Yeah.
It almost vanished because
Oh,
a whole bunch of bureaucratic numbnuts.
Guys who do not understand how cheese is made.
Yeah.
Louise says she got buffalo grass vodka from the Poles in the Middle East. Why am I not surprised that the Poles would be importing vodka?
Charlie, is buffalo grass the name of the?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the name of the vodka. It's actually pretty good vodka.
I'll have to try it.
The
The other thing I still haven't tried yet is the stuff that the elephants get drunk on.
Marula?
yeah.
Marula berries?
Mhm.
Specs has Marula liqueur.
Okay, I'm going to town. Who wants some?
Get a small bottle. Marula is sweeter than hell.
Okay, I like sweet wines.
I like the rough. I grew up in Mediterranean, not the non-Muslim Mediterranean. Whenever you have the big winemaking, everybody gets together and make the wine.
Yeah.
And then everybody takes home a cask or barrel of their own, and it sits in the cellar. It's just real rough, no name. That's wine. And
Chianti that's 3 days old. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, it's vintage is last Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh, it's better than Roman wine because there was a guy on the other end crushing it. It would flow down a pipe and you'd fill up your mug.
Yeah, it would flow down a lead pipe, which made it sweet. Anyway, I'm used to that real rough house wine, no name house wine. That is, to me, is wine.
Yeah.
And it drives Rita nuts. Rita likes these, she likes.
You would like Manischewitz wine.
Probably. I like Tempranillos and Riojas. The Spanish ones are closest to that rough red wine I'm used to.
Chianti, the cheap Chianti.
It's too sweet for me.
Manischewitz is really rough.
Yeah. Well, if you like sweet wines, you like Arbiettos.
Yeah. I tended to lean more towards the Ostlaces and the Spotzlaces.
Yeah.
The German winter, winter
The frost beers.
Yeah.
Frost wines.
We've wasted another hour of your time, folks.
Talking about food again.
Damn it.
Hey, we should write a cookbook. To serve vegans.
No, just no.
If you do that whole Twilight Zone, to
Yeah.
serve man, it would be to serve vegans. And
That
they
It's
finally,
a cookbook.
they
that
finally
came
opened it
up in the chat here.
They'd open up their book and go, "It's a cookbook."
Yeah.
Ooh, that looks pretty good.
And RK says Tempera Anello is outstanding, but she's a German Riesling fan.
Yeah.
I like Tempranillos and I like Riojas.
Yeah.
Somebody has to go outside.
All right, folks. Have a good weekend.
Be safe.
No, we're not doing a cookbook, Jesse.
Yes, I'm
Right
coming to
after
let you
hunting
out.
anthology.
Oh, shut
If
up.
there's we will do a cookbook if there's enough interest.
No, we won't. All right, folks. Be safe. Have a good weekend.
I've got enough recipes on my blog. We should be happy.
Yeah.
I think I've got a good barbecue recipe for them.
And remember, don't sweat the petty stuff and don't pet the sweaty stuff.
Y'all be safe.
And no, we're not doing a hunting and cookbook combo. God.
Kick cat and